If you are watching this video, chances are you are not posting on social media as often or as consistently as you would like. You are not alone. In fact, I would say that consistent posting is one of the top issues I keep hearing from interior designers. It's hard to produce content and post consistently when you have all the other things to do in your daily life. After all, you are a designer, not a social media marketer. Now, before you start to think that you have to employ a full-time social media marketer to get your social media in order, let me show you how I plan my content for a month or more ahead, so you can copy my system and save your budget on hiring a professional. Hi there, welcome to my channel. If this is the first time we meet, I'm Simona, and on this channel I talk about how interior designers can grow their businesses with social media and content marketing. So what is the secret to always posting consistently and avoiding long times of inactivity? Well, the secret is that there is really no big secret. It's all about sitting down and scheduling your planning sessions on your agenda, so you actually do it, instead of trying to find the time in between other tasks. And once you sit down, it's helpful to have a system that you can just follow, no matter whether you feel like creating content or not at the moment. I'm a big fan of systems, workflows, and generally making work easier for yourself. Otherwise, as a creative person, I would be working whenever I feel like it, which is exactly the opposite of achieving consistency. Now, before we get into my planning process, a couple of words about why posting consistently is important. I will talk about Instagram, but this applies pretty much to all social media platforms. On Instagram, how often your posts are shown to your followers depends on several factors that the algorithm evaluates to figure out how valuable or relevant your profile might be to its users. I went into some of the details of how the algorithm works in this video, but posting consistently is one of the major factors that Instagram looks at, and that's also the case for Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, pretty much any social media platform that you might be on. So if you want a bigger reach on social media and build a following that is engaged and open to becoming your clients, you need to be posting consistently. That means at least several times per week. Uh-oh. There is no concrete number of times that you need to post something, but generally, the more often you do, the better. But since you are a designer and not a full-time social media agency, it's understandable that your time and resources to create new content constantly are limited. When I talk about posting frequency with designers, I always say do what you can. Just do it consistently. If you can post 5 times per week instead of every day, do that. If you can do 3 posts per week and let's say 2 stories, great. It's much better than posting nothing. Whatever number you choose, doing it consistently will help you rank higher on Instagram, and it will also let your followers know that they can count on your presence. Plus, if a new potential client lands on your profile for the first time, they will get a much better impression if they see that you post new content regularly, as opposed to seeing that the last time you posted was 4 months ago or last year. So if you need any reason or motivation to start posting regularly, keep this in mind. Now, you might say that to post consistently, you don't need to pre-schedule your content. You can just post on the go, as long as you do it consistently. And that's 100% true. But if you're anything like me, sometimes you are just too busy to post something, or life gets in the way, or you feel down or uninspired, or a million other reasons. So for me personally, the best way to achieve consistency is to schedule most of my content in advance. Otherwise, the risk of falling off the wagon is just too high, and then once you stop posting, it gets harder and harder to get back on track. So if you have time and determination to post on the go several times per week, go for it. If not, hopefully you can copy my process or take something out of it and try it for yourself. There are 3 main tools that I use in my content planning process: Asana, a Google spreadsheet, and a social media scheduler. Asana is a project management tool that allows you to create and manage projects, share files, and collaborate on tasks with other team members. I've been using Asana for about 2 years now, and even though I'm still working on some processes and figuring out ways how to work with it better, I love how easy it is to work with once you get the hang of it, despite having so many functions and flexibility. In terms of content planning, Asana has 2 functions in my process. My Instagram project in Asana includes basically everything about the Instagram account that I use for my business, including individual cards for actual posts. The way the whole board is organized is inspired by Kanban, so I have different lanes for different stages that the content piece is in. Each type of post has its own card that can be replicated. This is because each card contains its own subtasks that are related to that type of content. For example, a static post has subtasks such as schedule on Instagram, schedule in the Facebook group, and post on LinkedIn. While a reel would also have subtasks such as post as a YouTube short or post on Pinterest as an idea pin. Now, I've mentioned that there are different lanes or columns depending on which stage of content creation is each content card currently in. For this video, we will look at the column that says approved/to be scheduled. This column has posts that were already created, are approved, and are ready to be scheduled. This is basically my backlog of posts that were created in the past and haven't been posted yet. But I also put here posts that are created for a specific occasion. Let's say I know that Christmas is coming up and I already planned some Christmas posts in my calendar. I will create a card for the Christmas post and put it here. Now, maybe you don't have a backlog of posts and you only create posts that are relevant for the month ahead. That's fine and completely up to you. But I would still recommend using a similar system with content cards stored in one place. It gives you a much better overview of what tasks and subtasks need to be done. And it's also very handy to have them all in one place if you want to repurpose your content. Speaking of, I also made a video about repurposing content, so put that on your watch list. Let's move on to the next tool on the list, although we will get back to Asana later on. This is a Google spreadsheet that acts as a content calendar for my posts. Now, you might want to choose to do everything in Asana and a social media scheduler and not use any spreadsheets. To be honest, I will probably end up doing that too, but at the moment I'm still using a spreadsheet where I can see all my posts planned for the days ahead. There's the publishing date, information about the post, such as the title and the type of content, a field for the caption, a field for the content link from Asana, so you can quickly pull it up from there, and a field for other links, if there is anything relevant, for example links for reposts. So during my planning session, I first opened the spreadsheet to see how many weeks, days, and which dates I need content for. This gives me a better idea of whether there are any special dates like Valentine's Day, Christmas, 4th of July, Black Friday, and so on. Anything that requires some special content. Also, usually on the last Sunday of the month, I post a carousel with interior design content ideas, so I always know that I need to put that into my spreadsheet. I also have a fairly set posting schedule, so I know that every Tuesday I'm posting a new reel or do a post about my YouTube videos on every Wednesday. In your case, this could be sharing design tips on Mondays and sharing throwbacks to past projects on Thursdays. I really do recommend having a set posting schedule and knowing what to post on what day, as it makes things so much easier, since you always know what to post and you just need to slot in content that fits your schedule. Okay, so once I fill in special and seasonal content, I go back to Asana and look at my backlog, aka the approved column, to see what I can use in my calendar. If you don't have a backlog, you can just note down ideas for your posts right in your content calendar and then create them in Asana, so you still have those content cards with the subtasks. And if you don't want to use any extra spreadsheets, you can plan your content right in Asana if you just switch to the calendar view. Once you have all your content laid out, whether in a spreadsheet or in your Asana calendar, you just schedule it using a social media scheduler. There are quite a few schedulers to choose from, like Later, Planoly, or Facebook's own Creator Studio. Different schedulers have different functions, like having hashtag groups, the ability to schedule reels, or reposting on other platforms. So what suits me might not be the best fit for you. Because of all those differences, I currently use a combination of schedulers, but I would recommend choosing just one that suits you best to keep things simple. Keep in mind that your content should be tailored to the platform that you are posting it on. For instance, you can't really post links and Instagram captions, but you can post links on Facebook. So I always make sure that I adjust my captions. For example, when I'm posting about a new blog post, I include the link in my Facebook post, but refer to the link in bio in my Instagram caption. This scheduling step is quite quick once you know what to post and when, so it shouldn't take you too much time. And once everything is scheduled, we're done. So that's how I plan my social media content in advance. Sometimes I plan just for 1 month ahead, sometimes more, depending on my expected workflow, holidays coming up, and so on. You can really do it for as far in advance as you want, which is what I really like about this planning process. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. And if you do it differently and have some tips to share, I would love to hear them. If you feel inspired and motivated to create and schedule your Instagram posts for the weeks ahead, watch this video next, where I will walk you through some of my favorite content planning tools for interior designers. Okay, that's all from me for now. Before you go, do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified when a new video is out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Has subtasks such as schedule on Instagram, schedule in the schedule in the Facebook group, and post on LinkedIn.